to another one of our videos. I sat down to plan a walk the other day, and when I got my map out, I suddenly realised I was looking at the High Mournes again, and I was looking at the big Eastern Mournes, and I often forget the beauty of the Western Mournes. Yes, they're lower, but they're really beautiful. You know, you've got Hen Mountain, Cock Mountain, Pigeon Mountain, Slieve Moor, and up into Eagle, Shan, Fin, all those. So that's what I've done today. I planned a wee route that was going to take me into the Western Mournes, and I'm going to Eagle Mountain, and I'm going to camp up there, and along the way I'm going to stop off at Pierce's Castle. So I've parked down at Leitrim Lodge, going to go to Pierce's Castle, going to go through the castle bog. Bogs? I laugh in the face of bogs now that I've been to Slieve Bay. And then I'm going to go down into the valley of Rocky Water, and then up the side of Shan, and then on up to Eagle, and I'll park there for tonight if you like. I'll pitch the tent there tonight. Then I'll dander down into the Windy Gap tomorrow, on down to Rocky Water, and then up behind, just what you can see behind me here, up between Rocky Mountain and Turnham Rock, and back down to Leitrim Lodge. So a nice wee simple route. But I think one of the things that Blue Lock camp taught me was that I don't need to go too far into the mountains before I can switch off my mind, so long as I'm in the mountains, so long as I find that peace and quiet and rest. And that's what I'm seeking today. I'm seeking that rest again. Not that life's too busy at the minute, it's plodding along nicely, but it's always good to get a bit of space just to rest your mind and your body. So, wee bit of physical exertion, wee bit of a walk, wee bit of a hike up to the top of Eagle. Camp there for tonight, get some rest. I've brought my book, wee drop of whiskey. So yeah, looking forward to it. Stay with me for the journey. Now, the route from Leitrim Lodge all the way up to Pierce's Castle is a really solid path. It was actually resurfaced for the Game of Thrones filming, but as you can see here, I mean, it's great underfoot and dead easy. Now, ahead of us is Castle Bog, but we're turning round towards Pierce's Castle. This is a beautiful vantage point out over the valley. So here we are on the top of Pierce's Castle. Look at the views here, isn't it fantastic? You can see way over to Slieve Crude, but way off in the distance in Hen Mountain, Cock Mountain, Pigeon Mountain, wee Slieve Mourne here in front of us, Slieve Mourne there, Eagle, where we're going to camp tonight, Shan then where we're heading now, and we're going to cross this bog here, which is actually the headlands for this wee river, which is the Rocky Water. I want to camp, or I want to come down tomorrow along this river that comes out of the Windy Gap, right down to the river, and then we'll head up this slope here to Turnham Rock. But on further down there on the other side of Slieve Mourne, you can see another river coming down to join the Rocky Water, which is the Rowan Tree River, and from there at that junction it becomes the Rocky River, then flows out past Hen Mountain there. Yeah, first of all I've got to cross the castle bog here, and then across this bog here over to the wall, another big bog. Now on Shan there you can see a wall going up. That's not the Mourne wall, that's the Bat Estate wall. The Bat Estate was the Leitrim Estate, and in fact Leitrim Lodge, down where I parked the car, was the original hunting lodge for the estate. The estate was owned by a guy called Narcissus Bat. If ever there was a narcissistic landowner, I think it was Narcissus Bat, who built this wall actually about 80 years before the Mourne wall was built. So I mean, it stood the test of time, that wee wall. It's still looking pretty good. And people from Northern Ireland will know his manor house down at Newton Breda in Greater Belfast, because it was Purdysburn House. Was their manor house, and his two daughters didn't want the house after his death, so he bequeathed it to the hospital commission, and it became Purdysburn Mental Hospital, or as it was known then, the lunatic for the lunatic poor, the lunatic asylum at Purdysburn. And a couple of hundred years later it was knocked down, and it's now the Knockbracken Healthcare Park. So people from Northern Ireland will know that connection for sure. Anyway, that was Narcissus Bat, and I'm going to now walk over to his wall and go up Shan and across onto Eagle Mountain, where I'm going to camp for tonight. So Pearse's Castle's behind you, Shan ahead of us. I'm going to climb that in a minute, but right now we're in the middle of a bog and I'm sinking into it. But what you can see in front of you is the start of the Rocky Water River, which is going to join the Rowan Tree River on down there and become the Rocky River on further down. But this bog is gathering water from Tív Dachara and from Shan and from Eagle, and it's gathering it all here and releasing it slowly into the Rocky Water. But the cool thing is this: it's not just the headwaters for the Rocky Water, because just over that rise in the bog, it's also the headwaters for the Yellow Water River, which heads down that way and into the valley there. Bogs are such cool things. They stop flooding on down because they slowly release all of the water that's caught up here. And there's big grey clouds over me now. I don't think it's going to rain, but if it did, all that water would gather here and be slowly released into these two rivers. Now, crossing the bog wasn't too bad, but had there been more consistent rain over the few days beforehand, I'm sure it would have been much more of a chore, being waterlogged. But now started the big climb, and look at those views out over the bog and out towards Pearse's Castle. And the blaeberries are coming, the blaeberries are coming. I'm about halfway up Shan. I'm absolutely wrecked. Stone wall behind me, stone wall ahead of me. But look at these stunning views behind me, aren't they just gorgeous? And the sun is really warm, really hot today. Thankfully, you can see on this side of me that the walls give me a wee bit of shade. But it's beautiful, warm, which is making me sweat loads. But it's so good, so good. And then after what is a pretty short but steep climb, you reach the top of Shan. Here is Shan with those beautiful views over the Eastern Mournes. Now, thank you for clicking on the video today, and I really hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have, click on the subscribe button and click on the notifications bell to keep up to date with what we're at. This is one of the slopes for Eagle Mountain. And at the top of this is a wee cairn, and I'll scope out a nice place to pitch the tent for tonight. And here's our destination, Eagle Mountain at 632 metres, the tallest of the mountains in the Western Range. Do you hear that? No, neither do I. Absolutely nothing. I can hear nothing. There's zero wind, and it's about 8 degrees, something like that at the minute. It's absolutely splendid up here right now. Just glorious. I'm looking out across at Slieve Foy and Black Mountain. And the mountains are doing that kind of layered blue hazy thing. You know, when they're kind of all stacked up, but they're all sort of blue and hazy. Looks really cool. There's just a little tiny spider is now coming down. Hello, how are you? Okay, I'm not going to disturb him. But that was a great walk today. So I started over at Leitrim Lodge and parked the van there, and then walked up towards Pierce's Castle, and then down into the bog, which is just splendid at the minute. I am sure that if it was raining more constantly over the last week, that probably would have been waterlogged and would have been tough enough to get across, but it was fine. The tough bit for me was coming up Shan, because that is a really steep slope, as you saw, and I was pretty wrecked by the top, but it was good. That's what I wanted. I wanted a good challenging walk today, and that got me up to the top of Shan. What is it, 15-20 minutes gets you across onto Eagle Mountain, and here I am with the tent set up, and it's just glorious. I have my book with me, but I don't even think I'll bother reading just right now because it's too beautiful. Just too beautiful. You know, this is, as I said to you before, this is what I wanted. I wanted time to rest. And that's definitely what I've got up here tonight. It's so peaceful, so quiet. I'm going to make my tea in a minute. I've got a chili con carne with me. Guess who made that? Yes, Firepot. And then, ta-da, of course. This is not a paid ad, but if they want to sponsor me, I'd be open to that. I'd be open to any sort of arrangement where people feed me chocolate all the time. Cadbury's caramel for afterwards, of course, and a little whiskey for later on, just to pass the evening. It'll just be lovely. But this weather's supposed to hold right through till tomorrow morning. I think there's a few showers scheduled to come in about 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that. Okay, I should be back in the van by then. So yes, my plan tomorrow is to get up very early, see the sunrise, and then go down into the Windy Gap, and then the gap between Eagle and Slieve Mourne, and then right down to the Rocky Water, and then up into the gap between Turnham Rock and Rocky Mountain, and over into Leitrim, down to Leitrim Lodge, where the van's parked. Nothing too complicated, but a lovely walk, a lovely way to spend an overnight. Just great. Okay, tea time. Well, that was a great night. I slept like a log. It was just glorious. Now, I did get over early and I did sort of wake a couple of times, only because the temperature really dropped, and as you saw, it kind of got frosty as well. Some of the heather still just tipped with the frost, but that sun is really warm this morning. Since it's come up, it's just been hot, and so the frost is kind of burning off pretty quickly. My wee tent is drying out quite nicely. It was white this morning, and now it's starting to dry out. It's such a beautiful morning here, and again, as you can hear, no wind. It is just so calm. I mean, you can see there's not a ripple on this grass or anything. It's just stunning this morning. I'm looking out again to Slieve and Black Mountain, and over there in the distance, you know, you can see that Slieve. It's so clear today. You can just see them all. You can see the patchwork of fields on them. It's that clear. It's just beautiful. And then down here in the valley, out towards Slieve and all, is just covered in a nice thick blanket of cloud. It's a glorious day up here. Glorious. So nothing more but to pack up and get back down the trail. I'm going to go down to the Windy Gap here and let you see that, and then we'll go down to the rocky water and see what that has to hold for us as well. So stay with us for the journey. And a huge shout out to Shan, one of our subscribers who spent the night on Eagle 2. Mate, it was so good to meet you, and I really hope to bump into you again on the trail soon. Right now, final leg of the journey over to the cairn on Eagle. Look at those views. It was splendid. And head down towards the wall and down to Windy Gap. Just wanted to point out where we're going. Down to the wall, follow it down to Windy Gap, down to the river, across the river, and then up through this gap here, and that's Rocky Mountain there and Turnham Rock there, and we'll go down in between the two, down to that clump of trees down the bottom, which is Leitrim Lodge, where the van is parked. So a nice wee trek this morning, but not very long. Such a beautiful day still, really calm and really warm. That sun is very warm. I have the jacket off. Couldn't tell you what temperature it is, but it's warm enough anyway. I'm sure I'll get a sweat going in a wee minute or two. Up there, and then that's the way I'm going, round that way, over the stile, and down into the valley. And up that behind me then is where we've just been. That was Eagle Mountain up there. Not a bad big climb, but in this heat it's just lovely, just gorgeous today. Hats off, scarves off. I might have to take this jacket off in a wee minute or two because it's really warm. I took the big downy jacket off earlier on, and now I think I should take this one off as well because it's roasting, and it's only about 9 o'clock, so yeah, it can only get warmer. Now the Windy Gap can be very wet and damp and soggy, but if you follow close to the wee stream, the wee river, right down in to the valley, then you should be okay. I'm now sitting down beside the rocky water because I've just come off Windy Gap and it is so warm. I've the jacket off, the fleecy jacket off, and I'm sitting down here because it's lovely and cool down beside the stream. But this is the river that come off that big bog that we crossed before we headed up onto Shan. And interestingly, this, let me just see, yep, that one, and then for a little bit more, there it is. That one is the one that comes off Windy Gap. Now that's not the Rowan Tree River, that's on further down because they join and create the Rocky River on further down. So the rocky water continues down, this one coming down from Windy Gap joins it, and they head down. The Rowan Tree River then, which is on the other side of Slieve, Mourne, it joins it and it becomes the Rocky River. So lovely down here. So just got to head up through the gap now between Turnham Rock and Rocky Mountain, down into Leitrim Lodge, and that's me done for the day. This has been glorious, absolutely glorious. Love this, love this. So this part of the walk was not strenuous at all. You're only going up to the little col between Rocky Mountain and Turnham Rock. So it was just a matter of going up and over, and it follows a stream basically, over the top and looking down towards Leitrim Lodge. Come down off the side of that. Now it was a bit boggy to be honest, but join the path again and that'll take you back down to the car park. Thank you once again for clicking on the video. This has been the Walkwatchers Walk and Wild Camp of Eagle Mountain. Now it's your turn. Go get your boots on, go outside and go exploring, and I'll see you again on the next one.